guys, welcome back to Aiden Meets Interesting People. I seem to stuff that up every time I begin. It's been a long time, and those people who saw a video I put out a couple of days ago will know why it's been such a long time, because I love getting into places and talking to people and seeing where they work and seeing where they operate. So I've got Lily Maglaras here. Welcome to Aiden Meets Interesting People.
Thank you. I'm excited to be the first one back.
You're the first one
Post-COVID.
Post-lockdown 5? I don't know. Yeah. What are we up to?
I think we're up to like 7 now. I don't know.
It's insane, isn't it? It's ridiculous.
It is. It's crazy.
So what I do is I try and I scour Warrnambool at the moment. We'll go further afield, but there's so many interesting people in Warrnambool. I don't need to go any further. And you've popped up occasionally on Facebook feeds. And
yeah, I'm around a little bit.
and Instagram feeds. And you've popped up... we initially met, I don't know how much you remember, but at the Warrnambool's Got Talent. We did Warrnambool's Got Talent. So we organised that. That was for my school. So that was a good show. And then I thought, let's get you on here because you ran away and joined the circus.
I did run away and join the circus.
Literally. Everyone's lifelong dream is to run away and join the circus. Yes, everyone says
it. Not everyone does it.
I don't know, did I have a dream about joining the circus? I probably did when I was there.
People were saying, I'm going to run away and join the circus. And I say, don't say that unless you're going to do it, because I did it.
You got to pull the trigger on it.
Yes.
Right. So we're at Fizzy Studios here in Warrnambool. What do we do here?
I train out of here and I teach here. So we do aerials and pole, lots of different classes. They're super fun. But yeah, it's pretty much where I live.
Yeah, you spend a lot of time in here.
I spend a lot of time here.
So what is aerials?
So aerials is a lot of different apparatuses. We offer aerial hoop and aerial silk at the moment, which is, it's two of the main apparatuses.
They're the big ones. Yeah. So here's the silks. These are tied up ones.
Yeah.
But we've got hoops behind us. I've hit my head on them countless times already.
Yes, they hurt. But yeah, if you do see a show, you're most likely to see a hoop or a silk.
Yes.
There's a lot of different things. I have a trapeze behind me and different apparatuses.
Is that practicing for the next circus?
Hopefully. I have a competition coming up, so I'm super excited to show that off there.
Excellent, very good. You mentioned pole being one of the things.
Yep.
And it's a hard one for me. I don't know if I'm just being typically male, or maybe I'm a dad or whatever. But 10 years ago, people wouldn't have signed their kids up for pole dancing classes. The connotation of it being a job for strippers is strong. But it's I walked in here and there's 5 kids in there swinging around.
Yes.
Having a great time.
Very stigmatised.
Yeah.
It is growing and more known as the years go on. But yes, it was very hard at the start. I actually, when I'm a kid, I don't know what it is. My mum would have known that it was in that industry, but I didn't know. I didn't understand anything. So it was just a really fun thing for me. And I didn't actually start pole until I was 16.
Okay.
So I was just here doing aerials, but I did see the poles, and Mum came in and she checked it out before I got here and
was she worried?
All those things.
Yeah.
When I mentioned it, she was a bit what's going on? Why do you want to do this? But she walked in and she was fine. She was it's in a separate room. It's fine. You're not doing anything inappropriate. And why would we be
Yeah, of course.
I was 10 years old. I'm not going to be doing anything inappropriate or crazy. But yes, it was very, it was just a funny thing to do as a young child, as a young kid. But as I grew around it, I realised it wasn't like that at all. And something else that you learn here is that you do respect those people who are in the sex workers industry because they started it. We wouldn't be here without them. But yes, it is growing into more of an art, and it's just as you go.
So the stigma's dropping, do you reckon?
Yes.
Obviously, the growth of the business here, and it has obviously grown a lot. But also, the previous owner of this place is it Kirsty or Christy?
Christy, yep. So she
won Australia's Got Talent.
Yes.
As a pole dancer, like it's
so she's
incredible.
she owns Fizzy Pole Studios, so the actual franchise.
It's a franchise. Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
so there's about 17 studios off the top of my head around Australia. So wherever you are, you can probably find one.
Shoot in.
Yes, so she owns the franchise, and she went on Australia's Got Talent 2019 and won. And it was big. It was it definitely showed that it wasn't just the way that people thought it was.
Yeah, right. It wasn't just people could see that it was a very physically demanding.
Yes, very physical.
I mean, is it dancing? Do you consider it a sport or dancing or an art form or?
It's a bit of everything, really. It's an
impossible question. So
yes,
you don't have to get it
uses
right.
everything. You have to be creative. You work on your strength, flexibility, all those things. But it's a sport, it's a art, it's all different things really. It's however you want to look at it, which is super fun.
So you started when you were 16?
I started pole when I was 16.
When you were 16, but you were here earlier than that doing.
Yeah, so I started aerials when I was 10.
Oh, okay. So you were well into it.
Yeah.
Before, so was this place opened with silks and hoops and whatever, and then the poles were brought in a bit later, or they were always here?
They were always here,
but just not for younger.
At the start, when I joined, we actually couldn't do pole until we were 16.
Oh, you weren't allowed to.
So I had to wait until I was 16 to actually sign up for pole, and it felt like forever. I was waiting for so long. I was like, come on, I just want to jump up there. I just want to do classes. But
is that because it's more dangerous, or does that come back to that stigma of having kids?
It did come back to that stigma.
Yeah.
But in the last year, we do offer kids classes for pole, so as young as 6 can join in, and so it's just dropping that stigma really and letting people see like it's not just the way that people necessarily think it is.
Yeah, that's right. Of what you would get if you went down to the city and went to Spearmint Rhino or something. Who knows? Yeah, right. Okay, so when you meet people and you say like, oh yeah, one of my, I don't know, it's a hobby or a job or whatever, is aerials. Yeah. Do you also say, and I do pole dancing and stuff as well, or do you generally leave that out?
Sometimes it depends who I'm talking to. If I'm talking to people my age, I'm happy to say like I do pole. Yeah. If I'm talking to older people, that's where it's like they're like, oh, what? Like, but I actually got bullied a lot in primary school. Right. I only did aerials, but I got like teased and things, and I don't even know how they knew what it was, but I would wear like my jumpers and they'd have the pole on the back, and people would be logo. Like, and people would say things. So I was like, it was hard, but I definitely wasn't going to let it stop me.
It wouldn't have made any sense to
you. No, I was just like, what are you talking about? Like, silly. But yeah.
Is it dangerous?
It is dangerous.
I was laughing when I came in here that there's a QR code on the wall here for injury reports. So it's like, if you get injured, you
luckily we don't have to use it too much.
Is it dangerous?
It is dangerous, but all the instructors are super good at catching.
Manage the risk, I suppose.
Yes, they can catch you.
Oh, really?
We always use mats, but it is dangerous, and that's just what comes with it. And you got to be careful, and you got to go through the levels slowly and make sure you're doing everything at the right speed. And
probably no more or less than netball or people playing footy or whatever. I'm sure
it depends.
I'm sure the hospital here sees more netballers up there.
Yes, definitely.
Than pole dancers and people doing aerials and et cetera, et cetera. Have you had any big accidents? Did you ever come off badly?
I'm lucky. I haven't had any big things. I've had like little, sore necks or arms, all different things from falling. The worst thing I've probably done is fractured my hand, but I wasn't even doing anything. I was just running in the pole room and I smacked my hand against the pole.
Oh, so I wasn't put your arm out and
I wasn't even doing a trick. So
that doesn't count.
Yeah, so it just proves that I'm a lot more clumsy on the ground than I am in the air. So I'm very lucky that I haven't had any big injuries yet. Knock on wood.
Take me through the silks are here. Is this your main one? Or both? The silks is your main one?
I am definitely more for silks than anything else.
Because we'll talk about when you ran off and joined the circus, but you did silks there, didn't you?
Yeah, I did silks and I did a flying pole routine as well. So that's another apparatus.
You'll have to explain that to me later. I don't know what that is. So what's the silks? Most people would have seen these. They're quite common now at circuses and I don't know, acrobatic things that travel around to lighthouse theatres and places like that. But run me through what's the gist of it?
So they're just a big strand of material, really.
Yeah.
It's folded in half at the top, so you get 2 strands by the drop, and you just climb, you wrap, you drop, all kinds of things. But yes, definitely my go-to thing. But
are they specially made ones, or do you just go? You don't just go to Spotlight and buy fabric and
do not go
sew it yourself.
I saw someone.
Do not try this at home.
There's always people on like America's Got Talent and just things like that, and they're like, I started on a bed sheet, and I'm like, don't say that. Don't say that. People don't start. Come in. Make sure you're doing it properly. Make sure that it's rigged properly and it's a proper.
We've all seen enough movies where people are breaking out of jail with bed sheets.
Yes.
And they always rip.
Yeah, don't do it.
That's legit. They're documentaries. Right, that's your tip. Don't use bed sheets.
Don't use bed sheets. Just come in. Sign up for classes.
What if they even strap it over the top? You just throw it over your bunk beds or something and hang off it.
I don't know. People tie them to trees, all things. Don't do it. It's not smart.
All right, and so that's the silks. We've got the rings, which people can't see, but there they are. And I mean, that's just a huge hula hoop hanging off the roof.
Yep.
Yeah,
stronger than a hula hoop, but yes,
I can tell that it's obviously metal and not not plastic.
It is
bamboo.
But you basically do the same thing. You don't climb a hoop, but you get in there, you twist yourself around, you drop all different things, but yes. Pretty much the same, minus the climbing and the wrapping. Right.
Does this stuff deserve to be in the Olympics, do you reckon?
Yes, definitely.
Right.
Oh, sometimes.
Put your case forward. I'll send it
I'm a bit on, like, I want everyone to see it, but then I want it to be mine. I don't want everyone to steal it. No. Yeah. It should be. It definitely should be. It requires so much strength. You got to, routines are so creative and fun to watch, and I think it definitely should be a Olympic sport. Definitely.
How is it judged?
It's on a point system, so it depends.
Is it similar to gymnastics in that certain moves are harder, so that bumps up the score? But
it's not on this. Like, you don't get judged on each individual move you do.
Yeah.
You get judged like on your difficulty, on your flexibility, on your concept. It really depends on the competition. They're the main ones. But it's normally out of like 5 or 10, and then you get judged by that, and then by the end you come out on top.
Okay, so basically there's a panel of judges, and they would sit back and go, okay,
that was a good routine.
She did 3 really difficult moves.
Yeah. So if you do like 3 big drops, you get a higher difficulty score.
And the drop is when you
go from the top
and then you stop that far from the floor.
End on the ground. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
much.
stop like
right on the floor. Yeah. But yes.
But without hurting yourself.
Yeah.
Managed.
Just above. Just
a managed drop.
A centimetre above the floor.
Oh, really? Just touch.
Not all the time.
Touch your nose on it.
Yeah. That's a bit like some of my kids will do drops, and I'll be like, "You're very low.
Yeah.
Don't do it." But yes, all controllable normally.
I was just thinking that you'd set up in your routine. You're like, I'm going to wrap down here, and I'm going to fall, and I'm going to be, a metre from the ground, and then you open your eyes and like, oh, that was way too close.
I was way too close.
Halfway around that last roll, going, and then you stop that far from the ground, and you're like, oh, you nailed it. Better make it look like I meant that.
Yeah, I'm just like, just keep going.
How hard is it to do moves like that? Because your body's screaming, I'm assuming, when you're holding silks out like this, or you're hanging off your legs or whatever. I'm assuming you're breathing super hard, despite how fit you obviously are, but you've still got to control those movements, and you've got to be thinking 3 or 4 moves ahead to know, like, oh, I need to be in this position, I need to be in that position, because that could go wrong. Like, once you're under stress of blowing hard, cardio fitness, and your muscles are screaming, that could go wrong pretty quickly.
Yeah, definitely. And silks are probably the hardest in that, like, thinking 3 moves ahead, because you never know where they're going to be. Especially if you're, like, if I do an outside show and I'm in the wind, I can't normally do silks because they'll fly around, they'll not be in the right position for me to get into the next part.
You can't guarantee that you're going to be able to reach out and grab it, because it could be flipping around. Yeah,
which has happened. Yes,
that does
and I just
dangerous.
had to come down. I was like, this isn't going to end well. But I find when I'm training, I am definitely a lot I'm very tired, and I'm like, oh, I just can't. Like, I'm so exhausted. My muscles are sore. Like, I'm done. But when I perform and I'm in front of an audience, it all, like, goes away when I'm in those 3-4 minutes. I don't feel anything at all.
Right.
When I'm performing in front of an audience, and then I'll get down and I'll be like, oh my God, like, I can't breathe for like 5 minutes. I'm just like, everyone just leave me alone. But when I'm training, I definitely feel it, and you just got to push through. And, some tricks hurt more than others. Yeah. But yeah, you just got to do it. I actually my friend and I messaged a girl because she's insane. Her name's Ruby. And
she Australian?
Yes, Ruby Easton. She's incredible. She's from Melbourne, and she does these, like, awesome tricks. And we were like, how do you do them? Like, do you have a tip, like, for your body? Yeah. And she's like, you just got to do it. Like, just suck it up. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah.
So if you tried to explain it to me, am I going to understand it? What does she do that you can't do?
Well, she'll drop from, like, her elbows to her back onto the hoop. Okay. Like, just all different things. It's hard, but...
Yeah, I'm trying to imagine what that looks like.
Yeah, super tricky things that hurt, but we're just like, how do you do them? And she's like, you just got to do it. You just got to suck it up. And then I'm teaching, and I'm like, this really hurts, but I can't show it hurts, because then they're going to complain that it hurts. And
right. Just suck it up.
A lot of the time it is like that.
You've been doing competitions, because obviously COVID's nixed any travelling to do shows. Before that, had you been travelling around Victoria doing competitions and shows, or Australia or internationally, or?
I went up to Queensland to do a show, to do a competition, and then just mostly around Vic. But yeah.
So there's enough local competition through Metro and regional Victoria to, you can do a competition once every couple of months or something? Or
so FizzyPole offers 2 competitions a year.
Oh, they run their
own
ones?
Through FizzyPole. Yeah. So we have Ignite, which is our big in-house comp. So it's just FizzyPolers from each studio, and then there's a finals and everything.
Has that been held in Warrnambool before?
Yes. Yeah. So you have one at each. There's one at every studio. So every FizzyPole studio. And then the finals are down in Melbourne. So whoever wins from your studio would goes down to the finals.
Did you win?
I did. Yeah. But COVID. Our finals were actually meant to be, like, right now.
Oh, no way.
But we can't be in Melbourne. So yes, finals will be online, which is
Is that a lot harder?
It's harder because we actually film the videos beforehand. Yeah. And you only get 1 take for your video. So if you mess up in your video, it's just like a normal competition, but...
How do they make sure you've only done 1 take?
Well, you have to do it with your studio owner.
Oh, right. So
you can't just film it and then send it in.
Yeah. You can't do it 15 times and
send the best one. So it's harder because... you want an audience. You want to be able to perform in front of an audience, or it's just like, well, I'm not going to go full out. I'm not going to be able to perform, and so it's going to be hard in that. I haven't actually filmed mine yet, so it's going to be hard without an audience. But we might be able to organise some of the students to come in and watch.
Oh, yeah. Low crowd. Yeah. That's
9 people.
So you film that in here, or have you got a set up at home?
I do. I have a set up at home. It's 6 meters. It's in my backyard. It's just a big
It's a
rig.
giant tripod in your backyard,
Yes,
right?
it is.
I've seen photos of it.
Yeah, it's interesting to have in your backyard. Like we
bet.
have someone, like a builder came over one day and he's just like looking at it, and I was just like, I can tell you're looking at it. Just ask me what it is. And they're always like, I don't know what that is, but is it a big swing set? I don't know, but I'm like, yeah. It's hard to explain too, so I'm just
like... It looks like a big tripod that you would like, I don't know, hang a sheet over and make a yurt, or like an igloo or something out of it, you know?
Yeah, it's like a big tent.
Yeah, big tent support.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, so you'll probably film... And
I'll probably film it...
It's outside in your backyard, right?
Yeah, so but I'll probably film it here with everyone.
Yeah. Makes it a bit easier. You've done competitions online over internationally.
Yep.
The Golden State Showcase.
Yes.
Yeah, I watched it. Did you know that?
Ah. I actually didn't watch it live. Yeah. It was in the morning, like really early.
Yeah,
I think.
know. I was just googling you, and I found it, so I watched it.
Yes.
You came second. I saw that.
I did come second.
Yeah.
Which was pretty exciting. Through it was everyone in the world, and they all
anyone
entered.
who wanted to join.
Yeah, and it wasn't just aerials either. So it was dance. There was like different categories for singing, all different things.
Yeah,
so,
I think it was billed as more of a variety sort of show, wasn't it?
Yeah, so I was in the variety category, so it was basically anything.
Someone next door was having a good time.
What are they doing?
Yeah, you can watch them on the screen up there. That's so good.
They must be running through their
People
routine.
might be able to hear the music, but that's why we're here.
Yeah.
It's part of the background.
But...
Yeah, sorry. The Golden State
so I was
Showcase.
in the variety category, which basically meant anything you wanted to put in.
What did she do?
She was... I think she did aerials
she did aerials as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So... but it was pretty, like, it was cool that I was like, I came like second out of anyone who wanted to enter all over the world. So it was so fun and just a fun experience.
So you'll do more of those things? Or are they becoming more prevalent now because COVID's forcing people to have to do those things? Or
most competitions have gone online. So competitions that already ran. Golden State Showcase was a thing, but I had never heard of it, never done it until it was online. But yes, so most competitions that are normally in person are having an online competition. So I'm entering one that I normally do. It's called La Folie. It's the one I did up in Queensland.
Yeah.
I'm going to enter just a video I already have. So things like that. Yep.
Yeah. Hopefully that doesn't have to happen for too much longer, right?
Hopefully we can.
As you say, like, it's so much better performing in front of a crowd. Like, in my other life, I do some stand-up comedy, and people have said like, "Oh, why don't you do shows on Zoom?" I'm like, you know how boring it would be to stand.
I'm talking to myself
in my own house, just talking to a camera, it doesn't work. You need an audience to tell you how you're going. You know,
or we'll tell the girls, like the little ones, we'll say, whenever someone claps, you have to point your toes. Because they always forget. So when they don't have an audience and no one's clapping, they can't point. Well, they can point their toes. They just don't do it. And we're like,
it's not the cue.
We're like, we need cues and we need different things. We need things to work off. So
what's the pointing the toes? Is that just like so that part of the routine's finished and now I'm getting on to the next?
It's just to focus on them pointing their toes. So you want them really to be pointing their toes the whole routine.
The time,
So. Because the audience are clapping most of the time, they're doing really cool stuff. So we're like, just every time you hear it, make sure you're pointing your toes, like focus on that. And then they're like, okay, so it works.
Yeah. So you have to just put in some fake laughter or fake clapping when you're in their videos while they're filming.
I'll just be sitting there. I'll just be clapping.
You'll be clapping, yeah.
Or I'm like, I'll see them clapping and they won't really be doing. I'll see them performing and they won't really be doing anything. So I'll start clapping and people are like, "Why are you clapping?" And I'm like, "I just want them to point their toes." They're just getting into the hoop, but I want them to point their toes.
They've got to point their toes when they get in.
Yeah.
Let's talk about running away and joining the circus, because I guess in a way that was, I don't know if it was something you were aiming on in doing, because the initial plan, I think, for you was to head to America, to LA, and train with Le Petit Cirque.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is what I mean,
So-
that's as far as my Googling went. So I stopped after that.
So they're a youth.
I only need to do the start of the questions. You
Yeah, I
have to fill in the
finished
gaps.
it.
Yeah.
They're a youth circus school, so they
Yeah.
train people, and they offer a summer intensive program, so it would be summer in America.
Yeah.
And they just do, like, they do contortion work, they do all different things. A lot of talk about getting hired in the future, so you get to talk to people who work for Cirque du Soleil and
Yeah.
work for Disney and work for all different casting agencies and all different people.
So a huge networking event as well.
Yeah,
As
it is
skills, yeah.
very much that, and like skills and different classes and things. So
Yeah. Was that an invite? Sorry, to go.
Yeah,
They
it was.
contact you, or do you have to put in an application, or?
So what happened was, you can put in an application, but I actually was sending out. It also goes into how I got into run away with the circus. But I sent out a bunch of emails for next year because I'm finishing year 12, so I want to be able to do something next year. So I was sending out emails, trying to work out what I was going to do for the 2022 season and see if I could get hired or go travel or whatever. And I just sent them my show reel, and they replied and they said, hey, we don't have any, we're not hiring at the moment, but we do want to invite you to this summer intensive program. And then from there, I went and was talking to them, and I was trying to get there, but I couldn't.
Yeah. So that was 2020. You were supposed to go in 2020?
This
Or
year.
or 2021, August this year.
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah. Is that just cancelled or postponed? Can you go?
It actually ran, but I couldn't
ran,
get.
but obviously
yeah.
you couldn't go there. But I mean, your place in that
Yeah,
school.
it wasn't held, so I'll have. If I want to go next year, I'll have to
reapply.
reapply.
Yeah. So they don't just go.
Yeah.
"Oh,
So
no,
I actually said to
you're in
them,
a
I
crap
said, "Is there
situation."
any chance I can get there next year?" And they said, "Hey, we just can't say that you're going to be at the same skill level or anything like that. So if you send us a video and you're at the same skill level as you are now,
So don't send the same video.
Yeah. Then there'll be a chance of you getting
Right.
back in. So hopefully I can go there, but we'll just see what happens. Like next year could, might be the exact same or might be completely different. So.
Yeah, it could be better, it could be worse. Who the hell knows? We don't even know what tomorrow's going to be like these days, do we? Right, so potentially heading to America there. What's the ultimate goal in the end?
I'm a bit all over the place.
Yeah.
I love to perform, and I'd love to perform for a couple of years, and then I want to open a studio one day.
All right, so teaching, continuing to teach this is a sort of an end game.
Yeah.
And then joining the circus and performing is just sort of the
I do want to experience,
hobby,
and I did love it when I went. So.
That's all right. Why are you going to watch them? You can watch them.
But yeah, I'd love to do it. I'd definitely love to get that experience for a couple of years, and then one day I want to come back and open a studio. And I love teaching, and I love having my students and everything. So definitely what I want to do in the long run.
Is Cirque du Soleil the peak of circus?
Yes.
Is that where everyone wants to end up?
Yeah. Well, it depends on the person, really.
Yeah.
It depends. If you want to perform, it would be on the biggest circus stage in the world.
I've seen maybe 3, and
they're insane.
Next level. Like,
they are.
I mean, the circuses that come here are great, and then Circus Royale, where you went, we talked about it. They're great. Cirque du Soleil is just...
It's different.
Insane. Yep. And I remember actually the first time I saw it, I was at university, and one of my classes I did was gymnastics, believe it or not. Speaking of circuses, that class was. And I remember talking to my gymnastics teacher saying, I went and watched Cirque du Soleil, and the people, I said, they must be Olympians. Like, they were so good at what they were doing. And she looked them up and she said, yeah, they're all ex-Russian gymnasts and Ukrainian gymnasts and stuff who have gone over to America or, touring with Cirque du Soleil.
Yeah.
So, like, the caliber of people they bring in is just so
they
massive
bring in people from everywhere. So
Yeah.
I actually watched a documentary on their casting.
Oh, really?
So them casting.
Yeah.
And they hold so many different casting auditions for all different people. So you'll have like a clown casting, and then you'll have an aerial casting, and then you'll have a gymnast casting, and all different things. And there's just people from everywhere, and they'll go and approach gymnasts and say like, do you want to come to the circus? And they actually mentioned something about they only approach gymnasts who are done with their competing, because they don't want people who are, half and half. But no, so they go like everywhere, anywhere and everywhere. They'll find people.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you got that opportunity to, at some point, like that, you take it?
Yes,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah, definitely. Yeah.
It would be amazing. It's definitely up there, but it really depends on like the person.
Yeah.
So if the peak for you is teaching, then you want to be a teacher. If the peak for you is working with a travelling circus, and you want to go and be in a travelling circus, like it really depends. And there's so many different types of shows and so many different opportunities that you can have. Like you can work in a bar and just perform.
Yeah.
Like Melbourne.
Oh, really?
So,
just like an acrobat,
so
bars with acrobatics. Yeah.
So there's lots of different things for different people, and it really just depends on what you want to do.
Right. But your end game is have your own studio, coach, teach, perform whenever. Yeah. All right, cool.
Perform on and off.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about running away and joining the circus. So your trip to LA was postponed indefinitely. How did you end up getting in with Circus Royale?
So I actually sent them the same email for the 2022 season, so I'm hoping to work with someone next year.
Oh, you better talk nicely about them then.
Oh, they were amazing. They were so much fun.
So you just sent an email saying, hey, I do this, here's my show reel, keen to catch up with you wherever you are.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I posted my show reel into a circus jobs group. So Bonnie and I, the owner, we sat down and we sent about 20 emails out to all different types of circuses, different types of shows.
Where's the circus forum? Circus jobs, is that on like a Facebook page or something? Or?
Yeah, it's like a Facebook page. It's just called Circus Jobs. So, and then people post, I'm hiring, all this stuff. So I posted in there, and actually one of the students saw it and said, hey, I used to be with Circus Royale. I'll pop in a good word for you. And I was like, love that. Like I've sent them an email, like we'll see what happens. And then they called me and said, hey, we need someone for the holidays, just for the 1 week. The girls who are doing the aerials for us are stuck in Queensland. So this is when Queensland were in lockdown.
Right. And where were they at the time? They were in
Caroline Springs.
Oh, okay, just outside Melbourne. Yeah, Melbourne.
Yeah. So I said, like I'll be there. And I think it was 3 days, and I went. Yeah. And Dad dropped me off, left me there. I had all my equipment, I had all my costumes.
Dropped you off.
Yeah, he was just like, bye. Well, I actually got there, and they were like, do you want to watch the show? And I was like, yeah, like I'd love to, because I got there right when a show was starting. And they were like, you and your dad can like sit and watch it. And I was like, yep, awesome. Yeah. And then Dad's like, oh, I might just go. Like I'm not going to watch. And I was like, okay. So then I was just left there. And I was like, okay, bye. So
sounds more like you got kicked off to the circus.
Yeah,
like you
I didn't run away. He
Dad
just left me.
Couldn't get rid of you quick
enough. He just dropped me off and left. But then I was there for the week, and they said, do you want to stay for another week? So I ended up staying for the second week of holidays, and then came back and went back to school the next, 2 days.
The 2 weeks of holidays, shows, what, like 10 a week or something? Or?
So there was 2 shows a week.
2 shows a week? Okay,
No, 2 shows a day.
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
2 shows a day. They'd be, I think it was either 4 and 7:30, or 11 and 4.
Yeah,
something like
yeah,
that.
depending on it, yeah.
Yeah, so 2 shows every day. I think we had 1 day off a week actually, but yes, it was very intense.
Yeah. I'm always intrigued by circuses in the roles that people play, because I love when you roll up to the circus and you get popcorn or whatever, and then you realise
And then they
that
perform.
they're the person who's like doing the knife throwing as well.
Yep.
So it's not just like, oh, that's the popcorn girl. She's also the magician's assistant or something like.
Yes.
What else did you do? Were you the popcorn lady as well, or what did you do?
I did. So we had like carnival games. When you walk in. So we opened them an hour before the show. So I was on the clowns. So they like moved and you put the balls in the mouth, and I had to add up all the points, and I got my, I was like, I've done more math in these 2 weeks than I have all school. So, but yes, you just help out. Like that's the whole thing. You go there, and if someone needs help, you help. Like it's you don't.
So it's not like you do your 4-minute routine and then go and sit in your trailer. And
you don't just sit there.
Yeah.
Ever. You're always doing something. Running around, packing up, all different things. Like after shows, pick up all the popcorn boxes. Like do all little things
cleaning
like
and everything. Yeah. So how many people are there total in who are running that circus on a day?
There was probably maybe 10 admin tent people.
Right.
And
so
then
non-performing people, 10 non-performers, yeah.
And then there was probably another 10 performers or something like that. I'm not exactly sure.
So it's basically like 20 people total running everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you would think it would be so many, like it's such a huge...
there's so many different things. So,
all doing stuff, yeah.
The person who did the juggling, he was also on music.
Oh, really?
So I don't even know how that worked in the end. Because then
when he play on his iPod.
When he went out, I don't know who played the music, but he was up in the organising the music and the lighting.
Yeah.
And he'd be in his costume and just
ready
to go, and then he'd come out at the end and do his act, and then somehow the music started playing again, and but you don't just sit around.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. So a couple of shows. What else? So there was aerials in there, and what other performances and stuff like that. And did you get to be involved in any of the other performances? I
wasn't involved in any other performances.
You didn't get to stand in the ball of death while the motorbike.
I would have, but I didn't.
Really? Did they have one of those?
Yes.
Where the motorbikes go around
and
around, and
the globe of death.
Poor lady has to stand in the middle.
Yes. So
globe of death.
The 3 brothers, they're from Colombia, and they do the globe of death, the wheel of death, and the high wire
of death.
Yeah, of death. Pretty much. Yeah. But and then there's magic, there's clowns, there's juggling, there's a chair balancer.
Oh yeah.
All different things really.
Yeah.
And it really just depends, people come in and out, so whatever.
Oh, I see. So someone might be like, I can do 6 days, whatever, so they'll have that person.
Normally they have their just the main people, but they'll people do come and do different acts. So
come and do something. And then
Yep.
Right, and the full acrobatic. Did they have the full net with the trapeze swing and everything? No,
they didn't.
Right.
That would have been fun.
Yeah, you got to get in that. That's your next step.
They didn't have that. It's a big thing to set up.
Yeah.
It's very big, and especially when you have that and the globe. Everything else, it's just...
It's not,
And it's a 2-hour show, so you're not going to...
Yeah, they're not... As a kid, though, I reckon they used to set it up at half time. And then pretty much the whole last half of the show was that, because they couldn't fit anything else on the stage.
Yeah, that's what they do. So they set up the Wheel of Death in the half.
Yeah.
In the intermission, because it took a little bit of setting up. And then it was actually funny, because my silk was right after the Wheel of Death. So then... everyone, they were all taking it all. They all had to rush and get it, back and then put my silk up, and it was like just this whole thing, and I was like, I'm not helping because I'll mess something up, like for sure.
Yeah,
and
stand back.
You got to make sure everything's done like properly, because
Yes.
then, especially when you have a show 2 hours later, and you've
yeah.
messed something up, and you haven't.
I went to one here in Warrnambool, and the girl, she was doing the silks, and she started, and I think she lasted about 30 seconds or something, and she just got off and ran away. And we all clapped, and the clowns came out and patted. But she must have got up there and realised, there's
something wrong.
Yeah, there's something wrong with the rigging, or I don't know. Maybe she just wasn't feeling it. I don't know, but she just got out.
That actually,
she's like, I'm done.
There wasn't anything wrong with the rigging, but my silk. So there's like two pieces at the top. There's the thing that connects the silk at the top. You can probably see there's
it's like a big T-shaped hook. Yeah.
And my silk was actually hooked. So the tail of the silk was hooked onto that. And I realised, and the whole thing is like it can rip a silk. Like if it went through the silk, it would rip it, and then the silk would be ruined, and it would,
Once
it's
it
really
starts, it's not.
It'll just it'd be 3 strands instead of 2. So I didn't come down. I probably should have, but I just went up, and as I was doing my routine, I just did a quick little unhook. But then you can't be you can't be climbed on the silk when you're unhooking because of tension. So I was like on one silk, and I was unhooking it, and I was trying to make it part of my routine.
Right.
But
do you think anyone noticed?
Hopefully not.
It's dark enough.
I was too high. Their necks are probably sore.
How high is that? Because I watched the video of that one as well, of one of the ones you did in the circus, and it looks like way higher than what you would do obviously in here, and way higher probably than your one at home.
Yes.
How high
so
was
it was
that?
10 meters.
10.
And my silk, because I took my own silk, it was actually only 6 meters. So
right.
I don't know if you saw in the video, but my silk was off the ground.
Yes.
Which isn't
that's not common.
People do it, but it's not common, and I had never done it before.
Yeah.
But we pulled it all the way up and had it off the ground. So sometimes they'd pull it up too high, and I'd have to jump to it. And I'd be like, I'm too small. But yes.
Those damn clowns.
So the actual rigging for it was 10 meters.
Yeah.
So if I ever go back, I'm getting my 10 meter silk.
Have to get a longer silk.
Yeah.
It looked. Was that daunting being that high, or had you done enough practice at that height to be able to?
It was definitely I remember coming from here and then going to a 6 meter silk. It was the scariest thing ever.
That's probably 3, is it?
I think it's 3 and a bit.
3 and a bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the one you've got at home's double this. God. Yeah.
And I was oh my gosh, this is so scary. The first time I got on a 6 meter silk, I think I went up to Adelaide to one of the studios there, to Fizzy Studios, Somerton Park, and they have 6 meter silks, and I got up there and I was like, this is so scary. I can't do anything. I can't even, I can't. And then when I got to the circus, I knew it was higher, but I couldn't really, I was just used to it at that point. So
yeah. Well, what are you going to do?
Yeah. I can't be
can you just
bring it? Yeah. Dad was not there, so I wasn't paying for a taxi back. So I actually called Mum, because when I got asked to stay the second week, I called Mum and I was like, can you just not come pick me up? And she's like, oh, okay. Yeah, because she was coming to the show, the last show, and then going to take me home. And then I was like, I'm not coming home. And she's like, oh.
Was that her biggest fear, that you would just
I just never come home?
Australia and year 12 would be, I'm not doing year 12, I'm just going to...
Yeah. No, I think she's very supportive, but she was like, oh, I'm just not taking you home, cool.
Right.
She's like, this is it, we're done.
So the aim is to maybe go back with that same troupe next year?
I'd love to.
Yeah, next year.
Yeah, I'd love to go back there because they were so much fun and I got along with everyone. And that's the thing, is that I was within the first week, I got along with everyone because you don't have anyone, I didn't have a car, and I didn't have, most people didn't leave. So you were just always there and always with each other, and you had to talk and communicate and, be friends. So
spend so much time with them,
In the second week, I was like, I've been with you guys forever.
Family,
Literally, it was. It is like a big family. So,
So
I would love to
you're
go.
waiting to hear from them?
Yeah, I'd love to go back. I'm trying to keep in contact with them, but then again, they are closed. So it's just really, it's all up in the air.
So
and
they didn't scarper across to Western Australia or something where they could actually stay
where
open?
they can perform. No.
No.
But yeah, and then I'm just trying to work out what I'm going to do and see what happens. And at the end of the day, if I don't go perform, I'd just stay here and keep teaching. And, I love it here.
It'd be a hell of a gap here though, wouldn't it, to start...
Run away with the circus.
Run away with the circus for a year or two.
Yeah.
And how many... There's only one Circus Royale, right?
I think so in Australia.
There's only one tent, but then there's Silver's Circus.
So there's a lot of circuses in Australia.
Is there a lot? Yeah, I was going to say they're the only two I can think of, but there was another one. No, I was going to say something Family Circus, but I think that's Silver's.
Yeah, it's probably that one. Yeah. I actually didn't realise how many there were until I was looking them up to email them.
Yeah. I wonder if maybe they have their own, like, jurisdictions, you know what I mean? Like, Silver's... Which one comes here?
I think it's Circus Royale.
Circus Royale come here. So then the other circuses stay away because it's like, that's your area.
That's your...
Otherwise they have, like,
spot.
clown fights and stuff. The knife throwers, like...
Oh, yeah, that wouldn't end well. I mean, they know where to throw it, so...
Yeah, they'd be good at it. Yeah. Imagine a clown turf war.
Oh, my gosh. Oh.
Very good. So are you going to get... I reckon you should get involved with some of the other acts. I think you should be the... I don't know. I'm assuming you're very flexible, so you could be the magician's assistant.
I could
go
in the box. I would definitely do, like, be an assistant or stand in a globe or do anything like that. I went to a festival at the start of the year, and we actually learnt how to eat fire.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah.
So Matilda, Alan, and Damali Frankel, we went up to a festival and we learnt how to eat fire and just do lots of things. So I always have that.
Is that one of those things where you're just like you said when you messaged the girl about the difficult tricks?
She's like, just
do it. You just have to do it. Like there's no...
Well, you actually have to drink soap.
Oh, great.
To put it in your mouth, which wasn't too much fun, but...
like soapy water. We shouldn't...
Yeah, so you put a little bit of soap in water.
Yeah. Soapy water. Drink soapy water.
And then you drink it, and then you put the... the stick into it's a special fuel.
Yeah, like a kerosene or something.
Yeah, and then you light it on fire and put it in your mouth.
Is it hot?
It actually isn't. It's not too bad.
That burns quite.
If you have it there for a while, it if you've just lit it, it's not hot.
Yeah.
The longer that you leave it, and the longer that you're like, oh, I don't want to do this. I don't want to, it gets hotter and hotter and hotter. And I actually, when we were organising to go, I said to Mum, they're doing fire, and I'm just letting you know that I'm going to eat it. And she's like, no, you're not.
I am going to do it, yeah.
She's like, you're not going to do that. That's disgusting. You're not putting that in your mouth. Like, no way. And then I FaceTimed her, and I was like, Mum,
watch this.
I just ate fire. And she's just like, oh, my God. Like, I told you not to do it, but it was fine in the end. She couldn't do anything. She wasn't there.
No.
Like, I was dropped off there as well. Yeah. My parents love me, but they just dropped me off.
Drop me off at the circus and the fire eating festival. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Be sword swallowing next or something.
Yeah, probably. Anything.
We're just about getting to the end of it. I'm intrigued. The circus has always intrigued me. I think, I think it would be a hell of a gap year to shoot away and
it'd be so much fun.
And join the circus and perform bigger and higher and get the silks that reach. So you can
all the way up.
when you wrap your legs up, like that one where you wrap your legs up, right? You let go with your hands and then you just let yourself go and you then you stop at the bottom. How confident are you that that's actually going to work? Do you have to count? I've wrapped around my leg. I've done 5 wraps around my leg, so I know I've got 5 spins. Because if you go for the 6th spin... Yeah,
I don't think about it a lot. I should, considering I'm dropping. But when I first learn a drop, because I teach myself a lot of tricks and drops and things, so a lot of the time I'm trying to work it out. I'm trying to look at my phone, and then I'm trying to get up, and then I'm... trying to just work it out with myself. And I'm like, I don't know what's happening. But when I learn it, like some drops you can walk them down and go really slow.
Yeah.
But not for all drops. So some drops you just have to do it and just hope for the best. And
hope for the best.
And the other thing is, you want to be high. Like the thing is people are like, oh, can I do this down low? And I'm like, it's going to be worse if you do it down low and you hit your head than if you go up high and you do it. Like it's going to be better to climb up really, really high and be scared of the height than do it too low and then you hit your head. So
really? Okay.
A lot of the time, when I learnt that big drop that I did at the circus where I wrap my feet and then I go over and then I roll and just end up just on my feet, I did it here and I was I was like maybe this much off the ground. It's definitely, you have to, once I learn them, I don't think about them.
Right.
Because it's just like in my head and I just know what I'm doing.
Muscle memory. So it's not a mathematical thing where you're like, okay, you get there and you're like, did I wrap 4 or 5? Like,
sometimes I am, but not. Most of the time I know what I'm doing. It's when I'm learning them I'm like, oh, I don't know if I did that right. And especially with I learn a lot of tricks off Instagram. So some tricks you can't see properly what they're doing. So I just have to assume that I'm doing the right thing, or I have to screen record it and then play it really slowly to see where their foot went, and little things like people move your arm the slightest bit and your drop will be completely different than what it was.
Oh, really?
So that's another hard thing about teaching yourself is that I can't talk to people and I can message them, but I can't really talk to them when I'm learning it. So I'm like,
right.
Oh, I don't know if you have any tips.
Sounds dangerous.
It can be.
All right, Lily, have I missed anything? Have I pretty much covered your entire life as far
pretty
as aerials
much.
go?
This is my life.
This is it. You've done it.
Yes.
Yeah.
My mum always is like, I don't have to worry about where you are. Because you're always
You'll either
here.
be here or at home, yeah.
I'm either here at home or at school.
Right.
That's it. And soon it will just be here or home. And it's normally here.
Right. You'll have to start inventing moves that no one's ever done before, like Simone Biles. You'll have to come up with your own Maglaras moves. Because that's what Cirque du Soleil is going to be looking for, some crazy things that people have never seen before.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. You'd have to jump from one skill to the next or something. Or
do a Tarzan routine.
Yeah,
and swinging
stuff.
Across.
Have 3 or 4 of them and jump back and forth. And
yeah. Sometimes I'm like, did I just make that up? And then someone's like, no, I've done that before. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Damn it.
Never mind. I didn't make it up. But yeah, maybe one day I'll keep trying. I'll find something.
Find something.
Or I'll try and do something, but then I'll just end up tangled.
Have you ever thought about eating fire? Oh, setting fire to the bottom of the silk.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Your routine.
Well, my silk is on fire, just slowly.
Yeah.
But
rub some dish soap or something on
I'd
the bottom
have to probably buy a new silk every time.
You'd have to buy a new silk every time.
And
we'd have to get you sponsored.
Yes, please, anyone. Please.
Sponsored by Spotlight. Yeah, some bed
Sponsored
sheet
by
company
bed
or
sheets.
something.
No. Yes, I probably won't set fire to my silk. I love all my silks.
I'll keep that one to myself then. I'll do that one.
No one else steal that. I might do it. Someone's like, that was a great idea.
Yeah. It's been an absolute pleasure, Lily. We've done this. It's been about 45 minutes, 50 minutes.
Yeah, that was good.
Goes quick.
Good chat. Yeah.
Yeah. Excellent. Thanks for coming on.
No, anytime.
And we'll, I don't know, we'll see you spinning around somewhere soon.
We'll
All right,
see you. Bye.
All right.